What's going on, everybody?
How's it going, people? How's it going? How you guys doing today? How you guys doing?
Man,
How you doing, Jamell?
I'm doing good, man. You know, I'm great. It's lovely to be here, man. I'm happy to be a part of this process, man. With everything that we're doing today, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about the things that we're going to be talking about and want to introducing ourselves.
Introducing what we're about to do. I know you guys are probably looking at the chessboard already like, we about to watch two brothers play chess?
Yes,
That's what's about to happen. Yeah, but yeah, we are. So we're just going to introduce ourselves and let you know what we're doing and who we are and what we're bringing to you. So I'll let Jamell start because he's the man that's behind everything that we're about to get into and what we see happening. So I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Jamell. So Jamell, go ahead. Tell the people what we're doing, man.
First and foremost, my name is Jamell Ogbonna. If you don't know who I am already, some people might know me as J Instrumental on Instagram. I'm also known as the founder and CEO of Soul Exp. And so today, we are going to be talking about creativity. We're going to be talking about the importance of expression and the reason why us as human beings, we crave experiences. And we're going to be talking about the different aspects and avenues where creativity can lead to, and not only about just creativity, like when it comes to arts, visual arts, music, as how you think as a businessman and a businesswoman, but how we utilize our creativity to decide our experience.
Oof, I like that. How creativity decides our experience. But Soul Exp, what does that stand for? What is EXP, Jamell?
Well, the EXP stands for both expressions and experiences. And our slogan for Soul XP is where expressions become experiences, because you have to first have your expression to be able to cultivate that into experience so the world can perceive that as in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So you guys just heard what we're about to be doing, but my name is Daniel Haynes. I'm from Georgetown, Guyana, straight out of the 592.
Yes, indeed.
Jamell and I have actually been friends for quite a few years. We went to school together at St. John's University where we both studied.
Johnny's!
All right. That's fine. But, go Johnny's. But what we're going to be doing, like Jamell said, is we're basically going to be talking about creativity and how that creativity decides your experience as well as shapes your expression. And we're going to do that over the course of the podcast. You're going to listen to Jamell and I. You're going to hear from us. You're also going to hear from some special guests that we'll have popping by the studio every now and again as we continue to progress with what we're doing. So here you see the chessboard. So chess is the ultimate game of creativity as well as strategy. And as Jamell could tell you, chess is pretty much a blueprint for how you navigate through life. So as we're talking about creativity, Jamell was the one to say, why not? Let's have the game of chess involved as well. So while we're talking about life and how creativity shapes experience and decides expression and interchangeable, we're going to be playing the game of chess and calling out our moves as we are playing while we're talking as well. So it's going to be an interesting adventure, and we look forward to having you guys join us on this ride. But while we get into talking about who we are and what we're really, really doing, let's start with the first move.
Yes, indeed. You take the floor, brother. You got white.
Floor is mine? All right. I'll go E4. But yeah, so I'm a writer. That sounded very, very abrupt. Yeah, so I'm a writer. But I'm a writer.
When in doubt, double down.
When in doubt, double down, right? That's what you got to do.
Indeed.
Sometimes it's not even about what you say, it's how you say it.
That's how you say it. It's the energy behind it.
It is the energy behind it. So good afternoon, brother. Brother. But as I'm saying, I teach up in the Bronx. I teach at All Hallows High School, where I teach digital media, journalism. I'm also a writer. I'm a journalist, a digital storyteller. I am a poet.
Man of many talents.
But the man sitting across from me, and it's your move, by the way, brother. Don't think you're going to let me keep talking so that you can get one up on me. Don't do that. I'm slick. I'm seeing what you're trying to do, man. I'm seeing what you're trying to do. But tell the people a bit about yourself, J Instrumental. Why they call you J Instrumental?
Okay. First and foremost, E6.
E6.
And secondly, they call me J Instrumental because, one, my name is Jamell. My first name starts with a J. And I'm an instrumentalist of
What instruments you play?
So, like, I started off in saxophone in 6th grade. Well, actually, it started off with clarinet. My mom was like, nah,
Oh, so you was Squidward on the clarinet?
Okay. We got a funny guy here. But, it started off with the clarinet, but then that was 2 weeks. My mom was like, "Nah, I'm getting you a saxophone." She got me a saxophone, and the rest is history. There. So after that, sax. Got into high school, still playing in band. Then around sophomore year, I got into drums. I just had natural rhythm for the drum set and things of that nature. And because I initially wanted to do percussion when I first signed up in 6th grade.
Yeah.
And then after that, I had a really good friend. His name is Nate Wagner, and because he was my friend and he was so versatile in his ability to play multiple instruments. And how skilled he was in playing on multiple instruments, especially because he played piano. Yeah. He kind of grew my bandwidth to want to be able to do that too.
D4, by the way.
Respect. And you're a combination of the people that you surround yourself with. So that's why me being around him, I wanted to strive and do better too. And our close friend group, which was 4 of us, was me, Nate, Malcolm, and Nate and Kyle, and also Adrian, but he moved to Texas. But we really strive to grow musically. Yeah. And so throughout the years, I also recently learned guitar.
How old are you, sir?
Diaphragm, I play diaphragm vocals. I'm 24 years old.
You're 24. So you're 2 years younger than me.
Yes.
2 years younger than me. You've been playing all these instruments. So would you say that creativity has always been a part of your life? And if yes, before we even get to that, what does creativity mean to you? I'm going to let you answer while you play your next move.
Knight to F6.
Knight to F6.
Yes.
I see you.
And what does creativity mean to me? Creativity is the ability to utilize your imagination to curate your reality.
That's deep. And
if you really understand what I mean by curate your reality, because we as people have the ability to have as much power and imagination as the gift that God gave us. He gave us the ability to be creative, and he's the ultimate creator.
Bishop to G5.
Think you're slick or something so I just think it was amazing to be able to be creative and to be having this imagination to not just to manifest a dream into reality, And I think it's important as creators and content creators and as human beings, as we have purpose. Our purpose is to discover our gift, and and we're meant to give it away. And when we have the ability to utilize our ability to imagine the scopes and to even redefine and break through the norms of what we think we can do and break through boundaries with creativity, I think it's a beautiful thing to me.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
So for me, creativity, I'd say my mom would actually say that I've been writing or being creative since I learned to write and talk. And I remember just always being with a pen and paper, just writing something down, whether it was a poem, whether it was trying to create a song. And I was always involved in theater and drama with church. And, once you go, especially if you go to a black church, you're already involved in all the Christmas plays. You know that you up there, your mama's going to put you in front to perform. You have to be up there front and center, right? Yeah. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. So it's when you think about that, I think about how I watch my kids, because one of the things I do is, how do you put a grade on something like creativity? And that's why as a teacher, when I have a project and my rubric says creativity, what does creativity look like? Because for me, something flashy obviously is going to catch your eye. And we know about this from our days in school, where we're sitting and we're writing, and you have to create a project, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with this project? Do I make it flashy? Do I express my creativity by adding a bunch of colors? Because sometimes we tend to think that being creative or having creativity means that you have to be flashy. You're a creative person if you're like Basquiat and creating these masterpieces. If you're like Andy Warhol, you're a creative if you're like Kendrick Lamar, or J. Cole, Drake even. But creativity displays itself in even the small ways in how you write. And I think about my kids, where I look at one kid, and for future reference, when I say my kids, I do not personally have any children.
I'm just like, that could be misconstrued.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't have any children, but my kids are the guys that I teach up at Hollows. So when I think about that, and I think about the fact that here they are and they're writing and they're doing projects, for their final project, they had to do a documentary. And some kids did better than other kids based on the content that they produce. But creativity is taking, like you said, taking what you have or the materials that you have and repurposing it to a different purpose. So I think about creativity for me, and you know what I do in writing, I turn words into windows, which is my trademark for my magazine and my upcoming book as well. Yes. So I turn words into windows using creativity, because I can take your story, I can write it down, and I can flesh it out in these ways that give life to the words that are on the paper. And now here we are, you're seeing something that I'm not seeing. Yeah. So you think about that, creativity doesn't just mean the flashy colors. You know what I mean? You move, brother. What you thinking? You.
Oh yes, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah, he shook, y'all. He shook.
I ain't really shook. Well, you can relax.
He ain't know what I want to do. He don't even know.
No, I'm thinking more about what I want to do. I mean, I understand what you're trying to do. So that was knight to C6, everybody.
All right, I went pawn E5. Took it one step up.
That's beautiful. That's very beautiful. Bishop to B4.
Bishop to B4. King is in check.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But we're going to do something as simple as C3. Something as simple as C3. But yeah, what do you think about what I just said, though? That creativity doesn't just have to be displayed in the flashy, in the here I am and I'm creating these multi-million-dollar songs, or I'm creating these pieces of art that are, again, multi-million-dollars, but I'm taking something and I'm repurposing it. And if I'm able to give new life or new meaning to something that is even old, because you know the adage, there's no new thing under the sun. It's even in the Bible. So yes. What are we saying? What do you think?
I think when it comes to, especially that adage you just brought up, and no new things come under the sun. I think we all have the ability to share the similar creativity. Like if you think about musicians and songs, like almost every song uses the same chord progression, but everyone has their own influence, their own perception, their own creativity to put on that chord progression in a different, it might just be a different key that just changes the creativity and how you might want to relay yourself onto it. And you got remixes of different songs, right? Like that's someone's own respective creativity along something that's already similar. Not everything is like, has to be like, when it comes to creativity, not everything is like super inventive, but it's more so innovative. You know, the things that were the most inventive, if anything, the most inventive thing was God's making creation. But when it comes to like creativity for us, it's innovation, but it's so beautiful because like we have the ability to take what somebody else had and make something fresh, make something brand new, and cultivate a new experience from that initial experience. So it's just a cyclical nature of expression and experience, and it leads from one person to another person to another person, and it impacts them in their own shape or way that they can carry that on in their other lives. So like, I can listen to a J. Cole song, my life can be changed forever. Yeah. And in the way I carry myself, or the way I listen to other music, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not Cole. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. It's not Cole.
I can be like, it's not Cole. Or then it's like, I have such a taste for Cole, so when I hear something that's not like lyricism too much, like sometimes that can be a little off-putting. But me just being an eclectic musician, I already have a natural inclination just to like, you know, hear things out.
So what is a natural inclination though? Because as you think, and I'll let you think on the board as well.
Where'd you move again?
I said C.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah. So when I think about natural inclination, and everyone says, well, I'm not naturally gifted at it. There is creativity and hard work as well when you think about the plotters in school, because it takes a level of being able to take from nothing, where You look at kids who have been told that, yo, math isn't for you, or English isn't for you, you're not a good writer. And now the kid that you just told math isn't for you grows up to end up being a rocket scientist. What do you say to that?
Yeah.
Was that hard work? Or was getting to that point, was that creative? Was that hard work? But there is creativity in hard work, because to get up every day and do the same thing, to learn, the process of learning is the process of being creative, because as you learn, so many different avenues open out to you, just like this chessboard. Like me moving one piece opens so many avenues for you to move, for me to move, and now my experience is being changed by all the things that I'm learning, and my expression is being changed by all the things I'm learning.
Hence, how we are deciding our experience and how we're curating the reality and how the outcome of the game is going to be. And I think people think of life as a linear thing, especially creativity as a linear thing, but no, there's so many ever multiplying and ever quantifying changes that's going to go upon the whole chessboard game. And we can understand like it as life. There's so many different dynamics when it comes to chess, and just like when the dynamics between just like people in society, the dynamic between men and women, especially when you look at the queen and the king, they're dynamic to each other. There's so many different things, but I think being able to make a strategical move like H6, for example, and to really understand, okay, this is the move I'm making here, and how this is going to affect not only this outcome, but that outcome, that outcome, that outcome. And that's a creative thought in and of itself.
My good sir, I'm going to go knight F3.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Some cute, but very good points. Some very, very good points, because as you said, life is always changing and evolving, and you find yourself having to apply the way that you think to figure out a situation right there. Let's say that how many times has this happened to you? You get into a situation where you've never been in that situation before, and you have no idea how you're going to get out, but you have to sit down and come up with a plan, taking the existing information that you already have to then turn it into something new. Right there, you just exercise creativity, and you didn't even know about it. You didn't even think, man, that was just a creative way. Or people like to say, think outside of the box. What is outside of the box? What is think outside of the norm? Think outside of what everyone tells you to think? What is thinking outside of the norm? What do you think about that?
I think when it comes to it, I think creativity in that, especially in that regard, I think it talks more about like, I think creativity really emphasizes mankind's resiliency. Oof. If you think about it, like,
because brother, hold on, we're not in church. We're not in church. We're not in church. We're not in church. You got to break it down. Break it down. Slow it down. Go ahead. Let me hear what you got.
Because like I'm looking at it from this perspective, like you said, like that's an outcome that was possible, and then you had a hard place. You decided to think of a new way to win in that outcome and to prevail in that outcome. And then that's showing resiliency, because creativity is like, okay, this is happening, but like, you know what? How many ways what other ways can I achieve said outcome? And what little things can I do daily? And not just focus on the main outcome, but what little things can I do daily to achieve that goal? So like, say I want a certain amount of money for this, but I don't have that amount of money right now. What little things can I do? What things can I do to, say if something's worth $100, what ways can I get $10 10 times? What ways can I get $5?
20 times.
So it's like there's so many different ways where creativity, I think, unveils your true resiliency. And I think that's important for human beings, and that's important for mankind too. Yeah. Especially men, especially women. There's more things to life than just focusing on the one initial outcome. Yeah. And when we can actually diversify our way of thinking and have more perspicacity.
Ooh, perspicacity. That's a big word. What does that mean, sir?
It's about your ability to perceive. I think it's important to understand, like, our perception and the way the different paths that we have it's like the changes of a river. It's more of a flow than like a solid state of being. And by the way, where they're going to B6.
B6. Sounds good, brother. Sounds good. So let me see. I agree with what you said, and I think that it's one of those things where, as we're going through our everyday lives, and new paths and avenues are opening up to us. Let's say that you're on the bus and you decide, you know what, instead of getting off at my exact stop, I'm gonna get off 2 stops before and walk. And as you're walking, you see something that sparks an idea in you, and here you go, you're off, and you get a different perspective. You're able to change your perception. You're able to change your perspicacity, as my friend Jamell just said. But
perspicacity.
But as we're thinking about what's about to happen, my good sir, I'm going to capture this bishop right here on B4. So pawn to B4. Pawn captures B4.
I will do knight captures B4.
Sounds good, brother. Sounds good. Pawn takes F6.
I'm going to do... pawn takes F6.
Oh, he thinking, y'all. His creative brain is working. But another thing about creativity, when you think about it...
Bishop to A6. Yes.
Sounds good. Bishop takes A6.
Good. Good move.
Thank you, sir. But as I was saying, when I think about it, when you, like me and Jamell right here, right?
Pawn captures G5.
Pawn captures G5. We love that. We love that for you. But when you think about,
he's sick.
When you think about,
he thought he had me.
When you think about what's playing out on the chessboard, right? And you think about how there's so much that we can do. There's so much that happens in our daily lives that we don't even think about. Those thoughts that are passing through our brain, the amount of thoughts you have in a day, if you're able to throw a lasso and grab one of them bad boys, you're off. Yeah. Like you think about the people who've been sitting down doing something for 20, 15, 20, 25 years, and then wake up one day and decide, yo, this is not what I was meant to do. This is not what I'm doing. Isn't that from a form of creativity as well, to be able to not know what you're about to step into, but make that decision and make that next step regardless of what is happening, you know? What do you think?
I think that is a testament. I think that correlates more of like utilizing creativity and faith.
Creativity and faith.
And creativity,
having creativity. Queen to D2.
Ooh. Man brought the queens out. Like.
I mean, she makes moves that the king can't, right?
Hey, man. So any lady out there trying to be my queen, you know what I'm saying?
Episode 1, brother?
Hey, wow. Man. The Lord's my shepherd, and he know what I want.
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, if you know, any Jamell, go ahead. I'll repeat the question. Repeat the question. So I was saying, look at the people that have spent 15, 20 years doing one thing, and then decide that, yo, this isn't meant for me. This is not what I want to do. Is that them finding their purpose? And does creativity have to do with your purpose, or are the two mutually exclusive?
Well, it could be, it can go both ways. Because I think to even want to decide to do something different than what everyone else is going to do, that's a creative thought in and of itself. But is it your purpose? That's only God truly knows your purpose. For me, like only God truly knows my purpose. I just hope the things that I'm doing is making him proud, right?
Yeah.
And so when I think about it, I think about creativity, I think about faith, and having unwavering faith while you are immersed in your creativity, and then not being sorry about it.
Not being sorry about it. And furthermore, allowing yourself the ability to be consistent, because consistency is and consistent action is going to mitigate all the risks with creativity. That's how you really mitigate any risk, is taking action. If you think about a president,
they're very creative people. They have to make decisions every day that govern the world. Anyone that's a ruler of a world, anyone that's a president of any country, they make decisions that dictate what happens in the world, that they decide experience. And when they have, and there's everything that's going to come to a risk in it, and there's going to be a consequence, whether that's good or bad. But what they do, they don't take too much hesitation with their decisions. And when they do make decisions, and if it becomes a bad decision, what they do is correct it by making another decision. So that's what it is. All failure really is ineffective
decision making.
Yeah, but by ineffective, it's not a negative thing. It's just like, yo, that comes with life.
Didn't work. Try it again.
Try again. Don't just allow yourself to sulk in this, that, and the third. Like, yo, there have been times I've invested into things and it may have not worked out, but I still invested in more things later because I didn't discourage me. I have more of a fear of staying where I'm at. You know, I had more of a fear of staying where I was than increasing myself in any way, shape, or form, and whatever risk that might took.
I want to touch on that because it goes back to what I was saying earlier about hard work. And it's hard work and creativity are the two mutually exclusive and all of that. But what you just said, consistency is hard work, and you develop creativity through consistency, which is hard work. Yeah. It's not easy when you think about what it takes to be an expert in your field. It's 10,000 years of practice, according to Malcolm Gladwell and Outliers, right? 10,000 hours of practice. How consistent do you have to be? What's the difference between two piano prodigies from 1 to 15? What's the difference? One is now teaching high school and one is playing on the grandest stages in the world. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I bet when that person started out, there have been dreams of playing on the biggest stage. So is it the difference in that hard work and how consistent they were? Because I think about grit as well and hard work and perseverance, going back to, again, to what you said about creativity being the resilience being the ultimate form of creativity. Is that, if I remember?
I wouldn't necessarily say the ultimate form, but it is one of the byproducts, not necessarily the byproduct, but it's one of the subsects of creativity. Like, if you cannot be creative and not be resilient. Yeah. You know, because like being creative is already doing something new in a fresh way, so that's resilient to what it was before. It's not conforming in that aspect. And at the same time, like for the specific example of like being resilient to like the norms of society and trying to do something outside of the norms of society, that's creativity as well.
All right, your move, sir.
Yes, I'm going to Knight captures A6.
Knight captures, which piece do you want to put down, brother? My bad. There we go. Knight captures A6. That's a very strong move. But I'm gonna have to go. Knight captures G5. Knight captures G5. G5. Yeah. You don't know that ad-lib G5. How you listen to Afro beats and you don't know the
No, I'm just mad because you chuckled after that. I was like, I got him.
Got him. Stupid.
Boy.
Oh, not a boy. What we not about to do is start calling each other boy. Come here, boy.
Oh, not like that.
But yeah, guys, as you can see, this is exactly what we're going to be doing more and more as these podcast episodes continue to unwind. We're going to be talking about creativity alongside the game of chess. You guys are we're going to let Jamell play his last move before we wrap up this first episode.
I thought you said last move before you wrap up the game. I was about to say, he's confident. I love it.
I'm going to wrap the game up sooner or later. I've already won.
Oh, really? That's cute.
I've already won.
Okay, you think so?
I've already won. There's three moves that I left to play that you are about to play. The first one, I've seen you look at it. So I know it's already set up. The channel is there. You're looking at the channel, but I won't tell you which channel it is. So go ahead. I did chuckle after G5 because that opened the avenue up for me to do what I got to do. So, I'm going to let you play your last move for this episode. And we're going to be back with our second episode where we're going to continue this game. So for structure, for you guys following, what we're going to do, we're going to play one game. We're going to play a game of chess. We're going to start a game during one episode, and we're going to see how far we can take that game.
Rook to F8. Rook to F8.
before, thank you for interrupting me.
Yeah, I know.
But we're going to see how far that we can take this before, you know, certain things end up happening.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, we're glad that you guys tuned in with us for our first episode of Soul Exp The Podcast. I'm your host, co-host Danielle, alongside my boy
Jamell, Jay Instrumental, whatever you want to call me, man. I'm just here. I love the fact that we're able to do this, and I love the fact that we can provide impact in some way, shape, or form to the people. For all the chess players out there, please check us out. Give us your tutelage if you want to.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us, and encourage us to do what we're doing.
Tell me where I went wrong in the comment section.
Yes, in the comments. Let us know. And actually, what we're going to do, we're going to have the people in the comments, we're going to let you pick the first move for the next game. Okay, for each side, for black or for purple and for white, we're going to have you pick the next decision and the next move and the next creative experience. So, that's it.
That's it. Thank you, guys.
We have a good one.
Have a good one. Have a good rest of your week.